Hello, this is Dr. Young, and I'm going to go over your week 6 work. So for week 6, you have a discussion and a paper. Again, the normal, the usual. And you're going to consider that video right here about the Challenger disaster and groupthink. So I'm going to, if you click on this link here, you should get to the video. It's right here. It's about 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes long. So watch this video.
It's their better judgment.
About groupthink and the Challenger disaster. So that's how it starts, but you can just watch the whole thing. And then, oops, let me get over here. It's the wrong tab. Whoops, sorry about that. Keep clicking the wrong buttons today. Oh, that's not what I want. There we go. Sorry, I got all my other stuff going on. Too many tabs. Okay. So, you want to review the video and then talk about the decision makers and why did they go against their better judgment? And then you're going to talk about groupthink and how that happens, because it does, and it can really cause poor decision making. So how do you avoid falling into the trap of groupthink? So I want you to talk about that. Pretty straightforward. This is a very interesting case, nevertheless. But when you're working in organizations, you do want to avoid that. So think about some strategies to help you avoid that. And really getting into psychology and that whole thing as well. So it's an easy trap to fall into. Week 6 assignment. You're going to review your text, and then it's a case study at the end of chapter 9. If you have any trouble finding that, let me know. Communicating ethics at Cisco. Now, you're going to answer the questions at the end of the text, or end of the case, excuse me, and write it in the paper. So, again, papers should be formatted in APA style. I don't mind if you use the question for this as for the question as a heading, and then in the paragraph underneath it answer the question. Just make sure that you're writing paragraphs for this paper. That's really all there is for this. It's pretty straightforward, and we've already been over this. I would prefer you format in APA format, because we are practicing this in the class, because you will need this and you should be getting better at it as you move through an undergraduate program. But again, if you give me an essay, I'm going to be fine with that. But if you are using a source, which in this case, if you're reading your text and answering the questions, your textbook is a source. So you need to be listing that at the end, because that is a reference that you're using. What I'm not doing is nitpicking your APA format as far as citations, running heads, all the things that are included in APA, which there are a lot of details in APA. What I'm looking at is, are you writing an essay? Are you indenting your paragraphs? Are you using correct punctuation? Is there a source at the end to be cited? But if you're using anything to answer your questions, that source needs to be cited. You need to at least write the source at the bottom. If it's not in perfect format, that's fine. I do highly encourage you to practice proper APA format, because this is only something you're going to continue to use through your program more and more. And you probably will be scrutinized for it more and more as well. Because honestly, this is something you're supposed to learn in English 102. The second English course you take should be a research course, and you should be learning APA at that point. We're already past that, but I'm not grading really hard on it. I'm just hoping that you'll practice it. But as you move through your courses, you will probably get scrutinized for it more. Because by the time you graduate, if you go on into a master's program, I mean, it's expected, and you really do get docked points for that at that point. So just wanted to remind you of that. Otherwise, that's really all for this week. If any questions or concerns, let me know. Remember that if you have a draft, you can send it to me by Friday night, and I can take a look at it. You need to send it in an email and not submit it yet, and say, I would like you to review this for content, and I can do that and just kind of give you, if you're way off base, for example, or if there's some glaring problems, I'll tell you that. I'm not going to grade it at that point, obviously, but that is an option for you if you want to use it. If you find that your grades are not the way you want them and you're struggling, I highly recommend that you be proactive and begin to do that, because we're halfway through the term and there's time to improve. But otherwise, I will be grading your midterms and discussions by Wednesday night, if you want to take a look at your grades at that point. All right, that's about it. Thanks for listening, and have a great week.